Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Roundtable show on WWDBTV.com. As you can see, it's a bit lonely up here for me. I have no one on the left and no one on the right.
Where the hell's everybody at?
John, I don't know where. I think Aaron's in New York City in the Big Apple hanging out. I heard he was going to go to a play. What was it? The Book of Mormon?
The Book of Mormon.
His daughter was running the sound for that show. Yeah, I guess he's going to go to a Yankee game too, and he'll be gone for the weekend. So that's pretty cool.
And you know, I think that the Yankees lost their last game, didn't they?
I don't keep up with baseball much.
Okay.
I know he's been a Yankee fan forever.
Oh, yeah. I'm a Yankee fan too.
Oh, you are? Yeah. Baseball. I like baseball, but I'm more of an NFL, NBA guy.
No, I understand.
And I didn't play I played a little league when I was a kid, but I never had organized baseball in high school. It was always football or basketball. So I never really – I'll follow the game. I know how to play the game and understand it, but I'm just not a big baseball guy.
Well, I was going to say, if Aaron goes to the game and they lose, he can't go to any more games.
Well, he's not going to be very happy when he gets back, if that happens.
Yeah.
And Rick's off running somewhere back east. I don't know if he might call in today. He might pop in. I know he's back east with the family, I believe. And
I think he's in Ohio.
Oh, yeah, it's Ohio.
Ohio.
Well, we wish everybody the best. We wish Aaron and Rick the best on their trips. And you
Those
and I.
bastards just wanted to get out of the heat. They don't fool me.
Jesus. Can you believe it? 113 today?
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to be that way every day I see some rain coming in the next couple of days, but with a paltry 110, you know, my God.
110 degrees and
rain.
117 humidity.
Oh, my God. It's coming. Well, Rick and Aaron are out of town, so it's just myself and John. John will spout in here and there. We've got one of Aaron's favorite words, a plethora of topics. I kept saying that plethora, P-L-E-A, plethora. I kept saying it all day in the mirror so I'd get it right. I didn't know what the hell plethora meant until I heard him say it. I was like, what the hell is that?
It means a shitload.
Right, and that's exactly what we have. We have a shitload of topics. So we might as well get in straight away. Did you know today, John, is the 54th anniversary of the landing on the moon, July 20th, 1969?
Yes, I remember it quite well.
I was 8. I remember where I was at. It's one of those days where you remember where you were at.
Yeah.
You know, and I was at a friends of my parents' house. I spent the summer in Golden, Colorado, and I remember watching it on TV as an 8-year-old kid. Fascinated. I've always been fascinated about space exploration.
Absolutely.
And so where were you at?
Let's see. 1969. I was in Palm Springs.
Okay.
I was married. Just back from Vietnam. I was just back in Vietnam. Then I got married. Then my wife got pregnant. So it was just a few months before my first son was born.
Okay. Yeah. So I kind of blew the intro. We were supposed to talk about the strike first, and then you were going to throw in about the moon landing, because with the strike going on, the writers and the actors strike, a lot of people think that the moon landing was fake and it was filmed on a movie set in Hollywood, which...
Well, in fact, they made a movie about that.
What was the name of it? Was it Apollo?
No. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
There was a controversy or a controversy?
Yeah, it was shit. Anyway, I'll figure it out. I'll find it.
But yeah, so some people think
was that it turns out that actually was filmed. In other words, it was a film. They didn't, and Stanley Kubrick was the director for the film, but the problem was that he insisted that it be filmed on location.
Comedy at its finest, and I'm out of work hosting this show. So what do you say? All right. What else have we got going on today? I got let's see, the plethora of topics. Again, today was the moon landing, so we want to remember that. That was really, really cool. I got some
11.
Apollo 11. I got some stupid shit.
Oh, wait. I do have a story. So
Go ahead.
I think it was Neil Armstrong was the first one to step on
Right.
the moon, right? And so Buzz Aldrin was telling him, what would be really cool is, because they were trying to figure out what they should say, what he should say when he stepped
Right.
on the ground. And so Buzz Aldrin was saying, it would be really cool if you stepped out on the moon and go, what's that? Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. Oh my God. And then cut your mic.
Oh my, can you imagine that? Back then too, because the only camera they had was the one as he's coming down the stairs. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, that would have been.
Or pretty bad, actually. Can you imagine the wives? Oh my God, what happened to Neil? Well, it didn't turn out as bad as the Titan sub, so that's a good thing.
Well, there was I think it's Virgin Atlantic.
Yeah, Richard Branson.
Right, is now about to, they're selling space rides now, and it's like $450,000, and somebody had posted, that's for round trip, right?
Right.
Just so we're clear, that's round trip.
Right. We don't want it one way. But yeah, I think I saw that. I think that was happening in the next day or two.
Yeah, it's very soon.
Huh. Well, that would be fun. I'd go into space before I'd go into the deep ocean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me put my glasses on. It's time for glasses now. Real quick, the strike. Actors strike. It's amazing. This is the first time the writers and the actors have gone on strike since Ronald Reagan was president of the Screen Actors Guild, 1960. It's been that long since both together.
Yeah.
Now, I guess the big sticklers, the streaming and the AI stuff coming up.
Right, the residuals for
right,
the streaming.
Right. Especially the residuals for streaming. The AI really hasn't. It's starting to come out a little,
but and
they're trying to protect themselves from the future, the next 20 years of technology. But where else can it go? I mean, I don't know where else it's going to go from streaming to the computer. I mean, I don't know what the next step is. So I don't know how they're going to protect themselves. I mean, you can do that now, can't you? I mean, we could do
not to the extent that we will be able to do.
We could do the Roundtable with holograms or AI.
Yeah, let me work on that too.
That would be awesome. But have you seen the commercials? They've already done stupid stuff on Facebook. You'll have Biden hawking Pepsi products or Trump hawking some steaks or cheeseburgers, and they have the AI, and it looks real. I mean, they wouldn't do the commercial, but it looks real.
About maybe 10 years ago, I think it was, they had a hologram of Tupac Shakur.
Okay.
After he was killed down in Coachella at the
big festival. Yeah.
Coachella, yeah. So, and I guess it was pretty cool. So.
Speaking of Tupac, I guess they raided some house here in Henderson, Nevada yesterday. I didn't get the details or what they were looking for. They haven't really said anything yet, but that's been 1994.
Yeah,
we're talking close to 30 years ago, and they still haven't figured that out. And it all connected like that Biggie Small assassination too on the other coast, East Coast, West Coast, Bloods, Crips, whatever that might have been. Can't even go into music without worrying about getting your ass killed. It's amazing anymore with that type of stuff. But yeah, we don't know anything about what's going on with Tupac. But to segue from Tupac, how about that serial killer in New York, the Gigolo Beach killer, where they found like maybe 10 or 12 prostitutes, a male and a kid, all within like a 4 or 5 mile radius on a beach somewhere. And it's only about 20 minutes from where this guy is from. And supposedly he owns a condo here in Las Vegas. And I guess the law enforcement back east have contacted the Las Vegas Metro to see if there's any unsolved murders. I don't know if it's just specifically prostitutes or anything like that, but to see if he had come out here and done anything. They said he's owned the condo since 2005. So,
and the guy's an architect?
Yeah, he's 59, 60 years old. An architect, had clients, Nike, Kellogg's, all kinds of major clients that he had. And he didn't live very good. I mean, his house was dilapidated. He had his roof porch held up by 2x4s, and apparently he has had a great career. And a lot of people, some people have said he's a great guy and great at business. Other people said he was creepy and weird. And he's also got a creepy brother that lives in South Carolina, and now they're down there checking stuff out because they have a pond on their property. So now they're wondering how long and how many victims he could possibly have. He's in trouble for 3 of them.
Yeah.
For now, and
wait, him or the brother?
Him.
Oh, okay.
But his brother owning this land in South Carolina, they said the guy in New York, the suspect, he was going to buy land next to his brother and move down there.
Right.
And apparently the brother has been questioned, and they've taken a couple of his vehicles.
Hey, guess who's here, man?
No way.
Wait.
There he is. Rick.
What's up? What's up, guys?
What's happening, man? Everything good?
Oh, you got it, man. Huh?
Man, you're looking good, man. Where you at?
Well, thank you very much. I'm here in Craig, Colorado. We're here for our annual cancer drive up here for the American Cancer Society. And this is just our getaway but we're here doing some great work, man.
That's cool. How's the weather in Colorado? Is it hot?
Well, let me tell you something. No, it's been pretty nice. The weather here has been averaging in the 80s, but we're getting ready to get into the 90s, and a storm just came through here, throwing down hail and a bunch of water. It blew through, and now we got sunshine.
How lucky is that? Nice day. It's 1:13 here. 1:13. You're not missing anything.
Hey, Rick,
oh my God!
Turn your phone.
Yes.
On.
He's saying turn your phone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Way better, man.
Yeah. Hey, I have a friend up in Colorado. She said that it's been raining there for like 70-something days or something.
70?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've gotten a lot of rain here, but you know what? The thing about the produce looks good here. People are going to have a lot of corn, tomatoes. All the produce is good, gang. And like I said, the weather is really nice, man. It's really comfortable.
I would love to be there right now. That's for sure. Well, cool. I'm glad you called in. Right. We're leaving. We're packing up. I was telling John we have a plethora. I love that word from Aaron. Plethora of topics today, and I'm glad you got to join in on a couple of them. And we were going to talk about some stuff. We brought up the actors' strike and the writers' strike. You know, they're saying if it goes past September 1st, we're not going to have any new stuff. And I don't know how you feel about it. I know that some of these guys, they're complaining about the CEOs of these companies that are making $100 million a year, and yet the actors are not getting paid what they want for the streaming and the AI stuff. You know,
well, they should. They should. I believe that they should get paid for what they put out. You know, if you don't have the writers, if you don't have the actors, what do you have as far as Hollywood is concerned? So you have to respect them and make sure, just like in sports, right? If you don't respect the players, man, and pay them accordingly in that whole deal, what they do is they go on strike because they want to feel respected. And I think even in that industry, man, a lot of people take those actors and writers for granted. And I think they should be paid accordingly.
Well, if you take the actors, and one of the things that they're talking about is the residuals, right? For the streaming. Well, they get residuals if it plays a rerun on TV every time it plays. So why not the streaming?
It's funny. I've had residual checks in the mail for 81 cents.
Yeah.
$1.20. They're not big, but I get the little ones. The little.
Actors are posting those.
Right.
Yeah. Well. You know. Go ahead. Well, you know the guys back in the day. Remember back in the day, you're talking about Chuck Berry and you're talking about Fats Domino. You're talking about all of those guys, man, that came out with music, right? And they wrote the music and they produced the music and that audio, but they never did get a residual check for every time they played it on the radio station. And so then the guys, they finally got smart in that industry and says, I want residual income. Every time you play my song on a radio, I want to get paid.
I know they got really shafted back then. In fact, you mentioned that
Yeah,
Snoop Dogg came out yesterday and said, "Where is it? Where's the money from the streaming stuff?" Because a lot of music is streamed every second, and they're not getting
that's
the
right.
money that they should be getting. Again,
That's right.
I'm not a big union guy, but I had to join SAG-AFTRA if I wanted to work. I belonged to the bartenders and union here, the local union back in the day. They didn't help me do anything. I found my own work. So I just, unions for me, I understand them. It just personally never worked for me. And again, Screen Actors Guild as a writer, I know some of the bigger actors that have money and that have done it. It's easier for them to go with the strike than it is for a small time actor that's not making any money, you know. And for me, that puts
Right.
that little vampire film that I have to the side because I'm Screen Actors Guild. I can't really do anything with it right now. I mean, as
Right.
far as I mean, I could work on it and do stuff. I just can't advertise it or film it or go out and do stuff. So, but there is a list,
Conflict of interest.
right?
Mhm.
Now there is a short list of movies and films that they're allowing to shoot during the strike, and Mark Wahlberg's movie Flight Risk is one of them. The one that's shooting here in Vegas right now.
Why is that? Why
Right.
are you allowing?
I'm not because it's an independent filmmaker. Even though they might be using Hollywood actors, there's like some clauses involved with independent films that allow them to continue.
Okay.
So so we'll see.
Is it yours an independent film?
It is, but me being a SAG actor, it's kind of complicated. I really haven't gone through the proper to really research it out yet. I'm not going to stop. We're going to film and stuff and everything. And so,
I'll edit that part out.
right. Yeah. I don't want to get kicked out of SAG for that. That's for sure. Hey,
There goes your residuals.
right. Well, we've had some topics laid out for the show. Rick, is there anything you want to talk about? Anything specific that you have that you want to mention or talk about?
Well, not really. I don't have anything specific to really, talk about it. I've been so busy up here trying to get everything, together for our weekend, for our cancer drive. But, I'm looking at sports, and I'm looking at college right now, and I'm looking at how the commissioner of the NCAA, he says, look, we have to do something different as far as NIL. He said it's going to be a travesty as far as college football is concerned. And Lane Kiffin said the same thing. I think that the coach for Alabama said the same thing. So I think NIL, man, is getting ready to come up under a lot of scrutiny, and it's going to have a lot of changes going on.
College football, it's going to be interesting this season with college football, particularly with Deion Sanders. He's had some health issues recently. And
Right.
I don't know how that's going to. I don't know how that is affecting him right now. I know a lot of the
Right.
other coaches are kind of angry about what the portal and what he's doing, and I don't know. It remains to be seen what's going to happen. I think he might. I hope he's successful, but I just don't know how successful he's going to be coming from a different division of football. This is the big
Yeah.
boy.
But the portal has made the difference though. See, these kids, man, now have free agency. They can leave schools anytime that they want, right? And they can go to another school and they don't have to sit out. Whereas you were penalized before. If we talked about that before. And so I think that's going to be the problem as far as schools are concerned, as far as their athletic programs are concerned. Because now all of a sudden, if these big colleges are offering big money to these kids, where do you think they're going to go? These D1, I mean, these 5-star, 4-star kids, where do you think they're going to go? They're going to go where the money is.
Now, what do you think of that? Well, college players getting paid now. That's been the last couple, 3 seasons now. But like, I didn't know Georgia, Stetson Bennett, he's made a couple $1 million before he even graduated. I mean, but
Right.
again, he's signed with the Rams and he's hungry. He wants to prove all the naysayers wrong. But do you think certain players might? I mean, you think that's going to affect their desire to play in the NFL if they become a millionaire before they even get there? I mean, after
Well,
2 years of college, making money at 21 years old.
I don't think it's going to mess up their desire because to be able to get out on the field and play the game is what all that we all want to do. We want to get out there and prove ourselves, right? I don't think the money is going to be the big issue as far as the guys are concerned. My issue is this. Once again, these kids get all of that money this early. Are they going to still have the same fire and desire to go out and perform? That's the thing I'm going to ask. Because remember, for us, when I played back in the 70s and 80s, once again, we didn't have any guaranteed contracts. We didn't have free agency. So we went out and we played the game because we loved it.
Right. And I guess with the top players, that will still be part of it. The love of the game, playing for the love, no matter what type of money you're getting. So
Right.
we got to go to our first break. Rick, stay on as long as you can. I love you and I miss you, and I'm glad you're here. I was shocked when John said, "Guess who's here?" So, but we're going to go on a break, and we'll be right back.
All righty.
Hey everybody, I am Aaron Phillips. You are?
I'm Governor Val Brown Klingelhofer.
And we host what kind of show?
We host the most fabulous show on this network you've ever seen. It's all about Kiwanis and what's going on in our different cities.
And Kiwanis Connects is the title, and you can watch us every Friday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, right on Facebook or WWDBTV. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Aloha.
Find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery. I've gotta have it.
So colorful.
I can't live without it. You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery.
And we're back. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Roundtable show on WWDBTV.com. We've got Rick Upchurch hanging in. I'm very happy and surprised that he was able to.
Well, we got his hat anyway.
Oh, yeah, we do. We have his hat. But we're going to continue on. And, Rick, you can chime in at any time you want, even though we can only see the top of your head. But I talked to John before the show about Amazon. They're saving children's voices recorded by Alexa, even after parents ask for it to be deleted. Now it's paying a $25 million fine.
When?
Hey, Rick, you back?
Yes, I'm back. Look here. Can I do something?
Yeah.
I want to introduce my sister here at Victory Motors. She had cancer back in the day. She had colon cancer, right?
Yep.
And that's why we started this program up here, Cancer Drive. It's the Victory Motor Cancer Drive. And this is my sister. This is Irene Maniotis.
Hello.
Irene, how are you? It's nice to see you and meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And God bless you. And I hope this Cancer Drive has a successful weekend for you.
We're planning. We're hoping. Yeah.
So you're in remission or healthy, and you got over the.
I am in remission. In May, all my tests came back at the normal level for the first time in 10 years. Everything was normal.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. And I'm glad. Okay, yeah, that's one of the. I get cancer's not good at all, but colon cancer is one of the more serious types of cancer, isn't it?
Yeah. Not fun.
Yeah.
But next, you'll have to come and join us.
I would love to. I'm from Colorado. I'm from Grand Junction.
Oh, well, that's not very far from us.
Still allowed back there?
Right. Yeah, being a Raider fan, I don't know if you told her I'm a Raider fan, Rick. So
No, I wanted you to tell her so she could scratch your eyes out.
Right. See, she's covering her ears already. Well, glad that you're here with us. Please chime in. We're going to touch a plethora. I love that word. A plethora of topics. And I hope please chime in if you like. And whenever you feel like it. We're actually talking about Amazon. I don't know if you know Amazon. Do you have an Alexa, Rick? Or Ellie, do you have an Alexa in the house?
All right.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Kissy, kissy.
Sorry.
It's all
Sorry,
right.
she had to-
Hey,
she had to-
it's great.
She had to go, guys. Mhm.
Hey, no problem. Do you have an Alexa, Rick?
A what?
An Alexa? So, where you...
Or a Siri.
Yeah, or a Siri. I have an Alexa at home where I can ask her to wake me up in the morning, or I can ask her what the weather's going to be like. Do you have one?
Do I have one at home?
Yeah. We have an Alexa, and I guess Amazon is in trouble. They're paying a $25 million fine for recording children's voices. I don't know why. I don't know why they're doing it, but they're getting fined for $25 million because of that. I guess there's a children's online protective act, and you can't record children's voices for any type of use. And I was told without their permission or the parents' permission and that kind of thing. Now, Alexa kind of creepy. Denise doesn't like it. I have it set up to where it wakes me up in the morning, or I ask her what the weather is. And I was telling John before the show that I didn't want to wake up Denise. So I told Alexa, and I whispered to her. I said, Alexa, stop. And she whispered back at me, and this was at 4 a.m. It freaked me out, man. I had goosebumps all over me. I thought I was in a horror movie. But yeah, so Alexa, that's kind of weird because they can hear what you're saying. Apparently, somebody's recording something. They can hear you. Or the next thing you go on Facebook and you were talking to somebody about a product, and you go on Facebook and boop, it pops up. And you go, well, wait a second. I was just talking about that. How do they know that?
That's why I don't have it in my house.
Well, you know what, George? I don't trust any of this stuff. I don't trust smart TVs. I don't trust Alexa. I don't trust any of those things because we understand, man, Big Brother is always listening anywhere and everywhere in that whole deal. So I don't have that in my house. I don't like it. I think it's invasive, and we don't know what they're doing with it.
So it's not even a convenience for you then. Not even a convenience.
It's not. No, nope, not at all.
Rick, they don't have to listen to us or spy on us because we give them all the information freely with our cell phones and all of that stuff that we do on the computer and shit like that. I mean, your driver's license, everything. We don't have to work. They don't have to spy on us. We give them all of that dirt on us.
But I don't understand why they even have to spy. What are they going to find out with the people in their own home? I mean, what are they going to...
Remember 9/11, man. Remember 9/11? That's when it really started. They wanted to be invasive and find out about all these terrorist plots and these societies and all that stuff. That's when they really started, man, tuning in on us as Americans, right? Because we had so many folks, the immigrants coming into the country in that whole deal. They didn't know whether they were against us or they was with us. So they were tying in and seeing if they could get any information on any terrorist plots.
Well, that's even more creepy either. If you're watching your smart TV and you're watching TV and it's watching you, it's what you... But where do they get, who gets hired to do this, or who's watching you watching your device?
Okay, there are.
Is it robot AI?
No. It's basically just computers that are sensitive to certain words.
Okay.
So if something is, if they hear somebody say, it's like going to the airport and saying, hey, I've got a bomb in my luggage.
Right.
So that triggers something that then alerts. What was that? 6 Days of the Condor.
Right.
You remember that movie?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's what that was about. They were listening to all of these different things, and there were code words or certain words or phrases that triggered a response from whoever's doing all that shit. So.
It's funny you brought that up about an airport. If you're going to an airport and you have a friend named Jack, you don't want to go, "Hi, Jack." Next thing you know, you're on the ground. It's my friend Jack. Next thing you know, you have to go through all that. That's what these devices at home. God forbid you say something wrong, and then you have a knock on the door an hour later. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you should know this, George. You know, and I know this because I worked in the casinos. You know, they have facial recognition all over the place.
Yeah.
When people walk in, like if prostitutes walk in and they've been banned off that property in that hotel, or you have some guys that have been in there and they owe a lot of money, to the casinos. When they walk through that door, facial recognition alerts those folks up there, man, on the monitors, and they go down and they arrest them.
Isn't that amazing? If you were one
Yeah,
of those guys or people that were put into the Nevada's black book that wouldn't allow you in a casino, and
that's
they can,
right.
you can't even sneak in unless I don't know. I guess if you had a disguise on, you could.
Yeah,
But speaking of casinos, I think we touched on this last week, Rick, about that brawl that happened at the Wynn Hotel. Remember the brawl that happened? All the girls they
I
got in
saw it.
a fight. Well, now we have found out it was over a married man. Of course, who knew? But I guess the mistress was stalking the wife, and they big old brawl broke out during there's a card tournament 10 feet away, this high end card tournament, and these girls are brawling in there. The girls hiked up skirt and her butt showing with the butt crack, and some guys recording it, and you hear some guy go, "Holy fuck, what's going on?" And it made national news. I was watching
Yeah,
the news the other night. It made national news, and they were kind of making fun of Las Vegas, even
yeah,
though it was in a high end Win Encore hotel.
yeah.
It's still just kind of, this type of today's society. I mean,
That's right.
you can't even come to Vegas and have an affair without the mistress following you.
That's right, and that's very true. Today people are just so hyper and hyped up, and they're so edgy, and anything can happen, guys. And you see it all over the place. It's not just there in Vegas; it's all over. Everybody's just hyped up. But I also want to talk about when we're talking about Mr. Wynn. You see where he's been what? He's got to give up a fine of what,
Yeah,
$10 million?
I saw that,
Woo!
and
My goodness.
he can't no longer be involved in the casino business. Although they did allow him to keep 5%.
Yeah.
I guess that whatever rules there are, or that he's allowed to keep 5% of his properties. He won't
Yeah,
be.
so it was sexual harassment, right? Is that what it was?
Hey, listen, I've been here since the late '80s, and I dated a woman who was a cocktail waitress at the Golden Nugget. And even though when he was married to Elaine Wynn, his first wife, the first time around, he was still. I mean, you're a casino owner. You got a few $100 million. You can mess around with the cocktail waitress. I wouldn't even be married. I wouldn't even be married if I had that position.
Yeah.
And even back then, I don't know, sexual harassment has always kind of been around, but in Vegas in the 1970s and 80s, I mean, as a casino owner, you could get away with that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
whatever he
Yeah.
was. But I'm not going to say he didn't have a great life. I'm sure he had a lot of fun. He was
Yeah.
also known to be, he liked to powder his nose a lot back then too. And this is from inside info from back then. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to fault him for that. He's 80 now. He's retired. He had a good life. He sold the Wynn properties and all his stuff for $2 billion.
Yeah.
So, and he still gets to keep 5%. So,
Yeah.
what do you
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, no doubt. But once again, you're talking about image. They're supposed to be the shining light on the hill, but now the image has been tarnished in that whole deal. But I don't think people will really care about that. They just want to come to Vegas and have a good time no matter what.
Well, speaking of that, the Palazzo and the Venetian, they're going to charge parking in the next 2 weeks. They'll be the
Yeah,
last family-owned casino, big casino on the Strip. They're going to go to paid parking. That really irks me a lot.
But not for locals.
No, well, for locals and if you work in the casinos,
Right.
you'll be able to. But it's still that was
It's bullshit.
back in the day in Vegas, especially back in Steve Wynn's time, 70s, 80s. Vegas was known for the cheap buffets, free parking, and a lot of other amenities that made
that's right.
Vegas to what it was.
Right.
That's right.
Now it's just like anywhere else: Miami, New York, LA, San Diego. You got to pay for everything. You
That's
can't
right.
even have a parking spot for free anymore.
That's right.
How greedy do you have to be? I mean, they don't need to
But
make that extra 50 million. I mean, I
but
don't get
but
it.
look, but you know what though, George, is this. We got to understand the events that are getting ready to come here to come to Las Vegas. You got the what? You got the Formula One. What about parking? What about the Super Bowl? What about parking? What about, man, when the NBA comes and baseball comes, parking? So what?
NCAA, the football.
Yeah, and then you got the basketball, coming as well. NBA. So when you're talking about making up a big difference as far as tax income coming into Vegas, that's going to be huge.
If it goes to the right, like you said, the tax, if it goes to the right places, it's a
Yeah,
good thing.
yeah.
We'll see how that works out.
I'm not sure. I thought that I read this in the last couple of days, and that was that Vegas and Seattle are going to get an NBA team. Have you seen?
I saw the article was about Seattle and Vegas, right. Either one or the other or both.
The both.
I know the NBA, Rick. I don't know. They had the All-Star game back in 2007 here. And the fans of the NBA, they came into town, really destroyed the town. A lot of violence, a lot of crime. And the city of Las Vegas at that time said no. And again, we're never going to get an NBA team. But this was before all the gambling stuff. And now we've got the WNBA, we've got the NFL, we've got NHL. We're going to have the Oakland A's here. So it just, NBA is soon to follow. And this town's going to support all four major sports. Well, five now with WNBA. I can't leave them out. God
Right.
forbid we get the phone calls.
Right.
But yeah, so now you're going to have Las Vegas, not just the entertainment capital and being a gambling capital. And now you're going to have sports teams here. And I guess the betting doesn't even matter anymore, does it? Does the betting even matter?
Well, you can't bet on your own team. You can't do that. You can bet on anything else. But when you bet on your own team, like some of the players have done, and they've gotten in trouble, right?
Just the last couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah. You can't bet on your own team, but you can bet. That's for sure.
Didn't Pete Rose teach us anything?
Right.
I don't think so.
I think he's getting. I've met him a couple times. I mean, he's a nice guy, sort of. He's got a reputation too, but sure. I think he should be in the Hall. I don't think he should be punished for the rest of his life. Of course, they might do what they did to Kenny Stabler. He dies, and then 6 months later, he gets in. I think that's the punishment. Maybe they'll let him in, but after he dies, so he can't enjoy it.
Well, how can those folks, man, play like they're holier than thou? Like they've never done anything that was out of line. They just didn't get caught, right?
Right.
So how are you going to sit back and chastise and judge someone because of something that they did? And I don't know, did he bet on his own team? Is that what he did?
Yeah.
Yeah, he bet on the Reds, but I don't think it was to
win.
Yes, not to lose, but to win.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't trying to throw the game or anything.
Right.
And he's been punished long enough. It's been 40 years, for Christ's sake? 40 years.
Yes. Well, I think Hall of Fame should be all about statistics, man, and things things that you did in the community, man, to uplift the community, man. But more so, man, about your statistics. When you change the game and how they have to play the game, that means that you made a big difference as far of the sport or whatever you did. So I think that Pete Rose, just my opinion, just with his stats and his numbers, he should be in the Hall of Fame, guys. Let it go. He's been punished enough. Let Pete in.
Yeah,
I agree. All right, Rick, we're going to go back to our last break. We'll have another 20 minutes here to BS. We're going to go to break, and we'll be right back.
All righty.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas, and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your
With our award-winning patented Ultimate 3-in-1, pack wrinkle-free in our innovative garment bag, generous duffel, and all-purpose day pack for incredible versatility. Experience easy wrinkle-free packing with quick access to travel essentials. Exclusively ours, an extension pocket for longer items or additional storage. Avoid check-in fees and lost luggage with our patented wraparound garment bag and duffel for a single carry-on. Easily hang the garment bag at your destination and use our duffel as a pop-up drawer. Back at home, the duffel and garment bag fold neatly into the day pack for compact storage. Travel smarter and simpler with Ultimate Luggage.
And we're back.
Did you hear
All
that?
right.
It woke me up. I was going to sleep here. Woo! I'm back.
Come
All
on,
right.
George. It's too hot to be going to sleep, brother.
It is. Yeah. Do you know who Jason Aldean is, Rick? You ever heard of Jason Aldean, the country singer?
I don't. Well, I've seen him on TV lately.
I think wasn't right.
Yeah.
Speaking of the song that he had, "Try That in a Small Town." I guess
Right.
he was a lot of country stars. Again, not all of them, but some are come from a conservative background, small town farm type of stuff. Similar to you grew up in a small town, and I guess that some of today's societal subjects, people go woke. I don't even know what woke means, really. People get real sensitive about stuff. And he wrote a country song about try that in small town. You got small town folks, small town, American values, growing up
Right.
with values and stuff.
Right.
And the CMT pulled his video off their website and their TV station. Some of the radio stations aren't playing the song anymore. And guess what happened to the song? Guess what happened? It went straight to number one.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? I mean, there's a lot of musicians that have been canceled recently, and their work just continues to go up the charts. People start buying it. People
Well,
are talking.
once again, through music, you can connect with all people. Doesn't matter what you look like, who you are, where you come from. Music is universal, guys. And when you start messing with folks' music, they rebel because they like it. It makes them happy. It puts them in a mood. So, hey, man, leave his music alone. Allow him to be, say what he wants to say, as long as it's proper, and let everybody else make their choice. But now you got the CMA and everybody coming out after him and that whole deal. Man, we have gotten so sensitive here in America about what anybody and anything that someone says, and they take it and then they run with it, guys. And I think it hurts our society. I really do.
It does, because now you're afraid to voice your opinion, no matter what it might be, whether
Right.
it's in music or film or on radio or on a show, vodcasts like us.
Right.
People all of a sudden want to cancel you for having an opinion. And that's what made America as great as it is that we're allowed to talk about stuff
That's
and
right.
disagree about stuff and still have a meaningful conversation and not go into a violence or that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Well, again, everybody wants to have their opinion, right? George, you want to have your opinion. John wants his opinion. Everybody wants their opinion. I think that when you start shutting down people and telling them that they can't speak and they can't have their opinion, I think that's when you start running into problems and trouble.
And I do believe too, even when this stuff happens, people that may not even listen to your music will back you up, just
That's
for
right.
the fact that, hey, he's allowed to say what he wants to say,
That's
whether I
right.
agree with it or not.
That's right.
That kind of thing. So, but yeah, wasn't Jason Aldean, wasn't he the guy, the country music star that was here playing when the shooting happened in 2017? Or was that somebody else?
I'm not sure of
Was
that
that
one, George.
somebody else?
Yeah.
Yeah, when that shooting in 2017. Okay.
Right.
I don't know. I don't remember who it was. I'll have to look that up. But okay, the next topic. We got a bunch of topics today. Again, a plethora. Has anybody here seen the movie Sound of Freedom about the child trafficking? Have anybody seen that yet?
No.
Not yet.
I think we're going to go see it this weekend. But again, this is a faith-based film by an religious independent film company. So they're allowed to shoot still. And Hollywood, people are now starting to get sick of these Hollywood movies, and these faith-based production companies now are putting out quality family type films that people are actually going to. And this particular one is about the sex trafficking of children. And now they're trying to politicize this film. I heard Hollywood. There was an article in the paper the other day where there was a theater showing this movie. And all of a sudden, only in that particular theater, it's a Cineplex with 18 theaters. All of a sudden, only the one here, the one little theater that's showing this particular film, all of a sudden the air broke or something went down, something broke down, and they had to cancel the showing of the film. And people are starting to wonder, maybe this stuff's being made up because these movie theaters, either they don't want to show it or they're getting threatened by phone calls and stuff for showing the film. And there's nothing political about child sex trafficking. That's just
No,
a problem that we should all be concerned about,
that's right.
regardless of any
That's
type of
right.
political affiliation. So
That's
I
right.
want to see the movie. I heard it's very, very good. And it stars, was it Jim Caviezel?
Yeah.
Did you ever see The Passion of the Christ, guys? The
Yeah.
movie Passion of the
Yes.
Christ?
Yeah.
Yes.
Incredible film. And Mel Gibson couldn't get that film made. He had to shell out $200-300 million of his own money to do it. And look what happened. He made like $800 million. And now the studios are, they're backing off a little bit on these faith-based films now. And I don't think this movie cost, like they said, $14 million to make. 10%, way less than most films in Hollywood, and it's already grossed $150 million in like 3
Wow.
weeks. It
Wow.
beat Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So now we're waking up to that kind of stuff.
Right.
How do you feel about that, Rick? About these faith-based films, and now they're challenging Hollywood now with this type of content?
Well, it's amazing how far the faith base has come in our society, especially when you're talking about the political side. Remember, it was always separation of church and state, right?
Right.
And they didn't get into that. They were about getting people, man, to where they understood who Christ was and what he played in their life and how he can uplift them in that whole deal. Now our churches are getting so much into the political stuff, man. I don't know if that's good for our society, man. I think our church is where we want to go and get away from the political atmosphere that we're around every day and get the word of what Christ did for us and what he can do to redeem us and give us hope and give us life, man.
Well, I tell you, when I grew up in a Catholic and Episcopalian household. Now, Catholic and Episcopalian, very similar. Catholic's a little more conservative. But I remember going to church when I was a kid. And kind of what bothers me is I have some family members that think differently about religion than I do. We both grew up in the same household. We both had the same church every Sunday. But, we grew up. And again, I think in our lives, sometimes our faith wanes during our lifetime when we're going through some troubled times or whatever. And even me, with the kind of life I've, some of the ups and downs I've had, my faith waned a little bit, but I always knew that there is some reward after this life. There couldn't be, I kept telling my family member about, well, what about the way you live your life here on earth? There's got to be some kind of reward in the end. Or why would I want to go to, if there's heaven and hell, why would I want to go to the same place Charles Manson or a mass murderer, John Wayne Gacy? There's got to be a separation of how you live your life. It wouldn't be fair to for example, my parents, their friends who grew up and we grew up around them, some of the nicest people. And whether you believe there's a heaven and a hell, they lived their life as if there was going to be a reward in the afterlife. They were good people, nice people, humble people, and I'd rather live my life that way in hopes that there was something there. Again, what if some of the people what if they're wrong? What if you live your life and, terrible life?
Well, for me, George, I'm like this, big brother. Look, I'm like this. We were put here on earth for a purpose anyway, right? And I think our purpose is that we all are here for a reason. No matter what you look like, where you come from, your religion. I believe that we're all here, man, to protect one another, each and every one of us, to make sure we all have, and that we all, man, have comfort, and we all, man, abide by the laws. And I think, man, we've taken religion, and what we've done is we politicized it. and we
Right.
put it into a
Oh
box,
yeah.
man, where now everybody says my way or the highway as far as religion is concerned, right?
Well, I know that when Jesus died, and he had two other gentlemen on the cross with him, they were a thief and a murderer. They were forgiven on the cross.
Yeah,
But what
yeah.
about today's world? You've got all these people, all these criminals, all these mass murderers. We talked about a guy earlier in New York that's in trouble now for mass murder.
Hmm.
How are they? How can they even be fair? Even if they became a Christian and asked God for forgiveness, how fair is it for someone like that to be forgiven when someone else lived their life 80 years perfect, no problems, no issues? They prayed every day, they lived their life, but yet we have these guys that, not just criminals, but these guys that go way off and do terrible things. How is that fair
Yeah.
for them to get the opportunity to be redeemed versus someone who's
Well,
lived their whole
well,
life?
from what I understand, George, God says, "Judge not." For I am the final judge. So what you're going to have to do, man, is go through the process of whatever afterlife there is. You're going to have to be judged on the things I believe that you've done here on earth. Have you been a good patron? Were you good to your children? Were you good to your wife? Were you a good person, man, to people? And I think, and what's in your heart? Do you have a good heart? Are you thinking the right things as far as other people are concerned? Because once again, guys, we were put here on this earth as a people, all of us. And I believe he made all colors because look at the flowers that we have. We have roses, we have dandelions, we have all different types of flowers, different colors, right? Why did he do that? Because he says he wants us to be able to love them all.
And I agree with that, and I believe all that. It's just, again, some of these people today, or even in the past, that lived bad lives.
Yeah,
Sure.
well,
We
we're
give,
not the judge though.
we're
For me, we're not the judge, and I think God gives us a choice to do or not to do. And when He puts the laws in front of us, we just like out here when they say come to a stop sign, they mean stop. You can't even California stop, right?
right,
You're in violation.
right.
And then what you have to do is go where? To court to be
Pay a
judged, and then
fine.
you have to pay the price.
Right, right. Well, we'll see. Again, when you have a life like for the other,
But the forgiveness is based on a sincere desire or knowing that you screwed up.
and only you know that inside.
No,
Unless,
only God knows that.
well, that too. But I mean, nobody else around you. You have
that's
to.
the thing. It's like
He's going to know if you're sincere or not.
right. You can't
Yeah,
bullshit
sure.
God.
Well, it's like, for instance, Leslie Van Houten, who was involved with the Manson clan. She got
Right,
released a week or two ago.
right.
She served 50 years in prison. How is she? They say that she's rehabilitated. Does she? I wonder. It's personally, how does she feel on the inside? Is she going to be forgiven for that one bad night, that one bad incident that she had?
How many mistakes have you made in your life? And then you go, holy shit, I shouldn't have done that.
Many, but
Right.
not enough to. I don't know.
But
Hurt.
it's just different degrees is all. It's the same concept.
Well, even Catholics have this degree of sin,
Sure.
but a sin is a sin. I mean, if I was 10 years old and I walk into a 7-Eleven and steal a candy bar, is that the same as maybe beating your wife or killing someone, or a DUI? You got drunk and killed somebody in a car accident and you have no remorse? I mean, how do
But
you
if
separate?
if you have no remorse, you're not going to be forgiven.
That's for sure.
Right?
Again, guys, we are told, man, to judge not. It's not up for us to judge because we have too many skeletons in our own doggone closets, guys.
Oh
So
yeah,
he tells us, man, to be a forgiving soul, because once again, because we can't sit back and judge other people.
And we should be living our lives so that we get our reward here every day with the people that we surround ourselves with, and not be doing it because, oh, good, if I do this, I'm going to get some candy at the end.
That's right. That's right.
Do
That's
it
right.
because that's
it's the right thing to do.
That's right.
That's right.
Your brothers and sisters, part of the whole thing. So
And remember, guys, we had the Ten Commandments. Remember, the Ten Commandments were sent to us, man, of law, for us to be able to live by, so that we lived in harmony here on this earth. But how many people, man, live by the Ten Commandments or can even recite them?
Right, right. Well, it's kind of like the definition of the word integrity.
Congress.
Well, right, integrity. The definition of doing the right thing when no one's watching. Right,
That's your
right,
character. That's your character. Huh?
right, right. Well, I wanted to end today's segment. I guess we're almost done here, but I wanted to end on a funny. This is funny. I thought this was. I don't know if you guys are. You guys a
Funny how? Funny ha ha?
Yes.
Like I'm a clown?
Yes. Funny. You guys watch golf, PGA?
Yes,
Okay, I'm not a big golfer. Do you know who the four-time PGA Tour winner Victor Hoyland is, Rick?
No.
I've heard of him.
Okay. He was left laughing in disbelief. I guess over the weekend,
Oh, yeah.
he was playing in the British Open. And mid-swing, a bird came flying by and pooped on him as he was in mid-swing. And he said he
Boy.
couldn't believe it. He said the first thing he said, "Hey, a bird shit on me." And I guess the people around him were broke up in laughter because they all saw it. Can you imagine? He was about to hit a shot when he stepped back and looked around and was about to swing, and then boom, it happened.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how? I hope they didn't penalize him for that. It wasn't his fault.
I don't think that would happen again in a million years, guys. That's one of those incidents, man, just for TV, guys. Believe me. But the one I want to bring up, is Steph Curry, man. This kid here, he's magic, man.
Yeah.
Jeez, he gets a hole in one there at the win, right? With the match between him and Kelsey and Mahomes and those guys. Then he comes back and eagles the last hole to win it all. What an athlete.
And he was running around. Whoa!
What an athlete, man. You got to love the kid. You got to love him.
You know, I tell you, golf is, I always thought I thought tennis was more of a sport than golf. Golf does take precision. You do have to learn how to swing. I've played a few times, never good at it, but it is a sport. It's just not, I don't know how physically active you can really get at it. I know Tiger Woods has had some injuries with golf, not counting his car accidents, but you can get injuries playing golf, swinging all the time. And, but yeah, I never looked at golf as being a sport, but I do respect those guys going out there because you can't use a cart. You have to walk from hole to hole.
Yeah.
So that's exercise. Man. So do you play golf, Rick? Have you played at all?
Yeah, I used to play a lot, but with my back and my neck and my shoulders, that game is out now. And I can putt, I can do a little chipping and that whole deal. But as far as, playing 18 or even 9 now, it gets really difficult. In the next few days, it's really tough for me.
Wow. Yeah. No, I think it was pretty cool what he did, and he'll remember that for a lifetime. Unless he keeps playing and gets even better and better. So
I think he is. I think he will continue to play, and I think when his playing days are over, as far as basketball is concerned, I think he's going to be an excellent PGA player, man. He played in high school too, right? He played in college.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we got about a minute left. I wanted to talk to you real quick about Josh Jacobs. Apparently, talks have broke down between the Raiders and him. I don't know what Josh McDaniels is doing. I'm really, really starting to get concerned about it, Rick. And you live here now, and the Broncos and the Raiders. It's a real big rivalry in the NFL. What do you think Josh is doing? Because he tore Denver apart a dozen years ago. What do you think he's doing?
He wants to get paid. He wants to get paid. Like Saquon Barkley wants to get paid. He wants to get paid for all of the work that he's put in. And then, to lead the league, as far as the top rusher, I mean, it's time for him to get paid and get the right type of money that he wants. But what they did was put the franchise tag.
Yeah, 10 million's not asking too much. I don't think 10 million's asking too much.
Yeah, but they put him on. They put the tag on him, the franchise tag on him, and he doesn't want that tag on him, man.
Well, isn't that funny how over time there was a time when wide receivers weren't important. Now it's running backs aren't that important because it's a passing league, but they are important. And I don't know why
Very
you
much
wouldn't
so.
pay the top rusher in the league. Why not just pay him and get on with it? Because I'm
Well,
worried now.
the thing about it, when you look at running backs now today, the beating that they take, like you can even look at Derrick Henry. I mean, he's a big man and he's taking a pounding. So, I think rotating backs today is the big thing. And they don't believe, man, if they run those backs too much, that they'll get the years out of them that they can. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
think that they're skeptical as far as the beating and how long of a tender that he can have there with the Raiders if they pay him that type of money.
Well, I hope they figure something out because we're only a few weeks away. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Hey, Rick. Thanks for calling in, man. I'm glad you did. I wasn't sure if you were gonna. John and I weren't sure. He said he sent you the link. You did.
He did.
You
Yeah.
know, the show that much better. I appreciate it. I miss you. And thanks everybody for joining the Roundtable show. We'll be back next week with all three of us live. Rick, I'm giving you a big old hug.
And
Have a good weekend.
Rick,
Hey, you guys take care. John, you take care. And I can't wait to see you guys, man.
all right. Stay safe.
Have a good weekend.
All right,
Hydrate,
take
dude.
care. Mhm. Okay. Got that done, yeah.